The best thing you could do for yourself during a breakup is focus on personal growth. Instead of obsessing about your ex, focus on healing your attachment issues. Learn the skills to repair that relationship. Learn to understand your ex better. And when they come back, you can reattract them in a natural, confident way. My workbook series and my creative healing course were designed to help you during no contact and to grow even if they don't come back. You can get them on my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about how long will it last when your ex comes back?
This is a great question because we always try to prevent a second breakup.
Yeah, you guys are always thinking about when is your ex coming back? Are they ever going to come back? Those are the two things that consume you. But really what you want to focus on is how can you grow in no contact? How can you get to a great place? And what can you do differently if they come back? Because, many breakups are because the relationship wasn't working. Why wasn't it working? You have to figure that out. If you don't figure out why it wasn't working and they come back, well, the same problems are going to keep happening.
Right. And some of you are in situations where the biggest hurdle isn't even getting a text back from your ex. It isn't even repairing the relationship necessarily, but it's being able to maintain that relationship once you do get them back. And so that's why I love this question is how long does it last? Is this something that could potentially go the distance once we are able to repair it?
The more that you learn how to have a healthy relationship, the more likely it is going to last. The more that you learn the skills, the more that you heal your attachment issues, the more confident you're going to be, and the more likely you're going to be to break the cycle of what was going wrong initially. It's not easy to do that because you guys had a strong connection before, and so you're likely going to go back to those patterns if you really don't make a conscious effort, even when you have to stay emotionally centered. So it's not easy to do. Every once in a while, I see a comment that's really good that I think could be put into a video.
Okay.
And so today I have one of those. And this is on the video, a long overdue success story. Just got off a call with Coach Craig and I promised I'd leave a comment about his workbooks, LOL. No joke though. Do yourself a favor if you're going through a breakup and do the creative healing course and the knowledge. These workbooks made me whole more than I thought I could be.
And I love that because we do try to work on integration, integrating part of that breakup experience into your experiences to help you process all of this.
Yes, and you really do want to process. When I was going through my breakup, I was going to Margaret 2 times a week. And she would spend hours with me when she had that time. And it was so amazing to have that because, back then there really wasn't the resources on YouTube. Like YouTube was barely in its infancy, so there wasn't the stuff out there like there is now. Like we've got like 2,000 videos, so I know what you're going through. That's why I do this. But being able to process my breakup with Margaret, who is just the most brilliant human being I've ever known, I was so lucky. And it really helped us shape this channel because we were there, we did it together. But you've got to process it. These workbooks made me more whole than I thought I could be. There are so many things that I, and probably you, don't know that you don't know about yourself. And this is so true. There are so many things that we don't see in ourselves that your ex knows about you. And if you've been with your ex for years, they know things you're going to do before you do them. They know where you're going to eat. They know what you're going to eat. They're going to know what you're going to drink. So they know you better than you know yourself in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's true. And there's this fun concept called Johari's window.
Yes.
Have you heard about that?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I talk to my clients about this.
Yeah, and it's basically like a graph, and it shows these 4 different areas.
Picture a window frame divided into 4 equal squares.
4 sections. So there's things that you know about yourself that others also know about you. There's things that...
Like, let's give an example. Like, I'm wearing a jacket.
Right. Or that you like Star Wars. Everybody knows Craig likes
but
Star
they can't
Wars.
see that. But like right now, you see that I'm wearing a jacket.
Right.
So you know that and I know that.
Mm-hmm. Then there's things that you know that others don't know.
Like, you know what you had for breakfast today.
Right.
I don't know what you had for breakfast today.
Right. Now there's things that other people know about you that you don't know about yourself.
That's right. So that might be a quirk in the way that you speak, that you always say, okay, or something like that.
Right. Or maybe something in your teeth,
Yeah.
right? They might see it, but you don't.
Okay, yeah, that's good too.
And then there's also things that you don't see and they don't see.
That's like what God knows about you, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's really
Right.
what it is.
Yeah.
What God knows about you that you don't know about yourself, right? Because other people don't know it either.
Mm-hmm. So this is a fun concept. And so thinking about that there can be different dimensions of us, things that other people know that we don't, and vice versa, it just kind of expands how we view ourselves, because we tend to think, well, I know everything about myself,
Yeah.
right? Or they should know everything about me. But that's not necessarily true when we're talking about human relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. This is so critical. This is what you need to be looking at in no contact and working in these areas, because it's really going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
These workbooks don't just thoroughly discuss attachment style and relationship dynamics. They help you connect the dots between these concepts to your own life, your own behavior, and your own relationship history. And that is so true, because like we want you to look at your history, your life history, and you're going to see correlations between the trauma and what it was like when you were small and your romantic relationships.
Right.
I thought I was sad from my own breakup, but nothing made me bawl like the assignment where I had to write a letter to my child self. I also had to call my mom to learn about stuff from my early childhood that I'd never known my entire life. I even learned the history of how my family migrated into America, and it went for hours more than I needed to answer the questions from the workbook, but it was such an amazing story, I wanted to hear the whole thing. Knowing your life story is one of the most important things you could do for yourself. And that was one of Margaret's favorite activities, was the story about your life. And that is one of the big activities in the Creative Healing course. It was so big, we broke it up into 4 sections.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was pretty big. These workbooks push you. I tried in-person therapy years ago, and while it gave me some valuable insight, it was still more abstract than I found to be useful. These workbooks give you concepts and questions to think about over time and write about and have to keep and refer back to in the future. And don't let the art assignments intimidate you either. I find that men struggle to sit down and do the art therapy activities.
Yeah.
And I'm always telling them, nobody's going to judge you. You don't have to show anybody. Sit down and do them by yourself. You don't have to be an artist. It's about expressing yourself and things that are in your unconscious.
Right. And sometimes art, that form of expression, can express in a different way than words can. So art therapy can be something that's really powerful and profound, because it's not like our emotions are always in English, right? Sometimes they're more conceptual. Sometimes being able to express them in art can give us different insight, can give us different meaning to things too. So
Absolutely. And, I did a lot of research on how effective art therapy was before we started the course. And the research was so good that I was just like, wow, this does seem like a great concept to incorporate into everything that we do. And it's more than just, putting everything into words.
right.
So yeah, art is very healing when you do these kind of activities. And, especially up front in the course, it was like breakup. We were doing a lot of breakup art therapy activities.
Right.
And as you're going through the course, it becomes a little bit less because you've already processed a lot of it.
Right.
I'm a professional artist, so drawing comes easy, but I didn't expect the surprising challenge of thinking about what to draw. The act of creating art itself is so freeing because sometimes you just don't have the words, especially for us avoidant types who aren't used to accessing our emotions. So, such a great point. These art activities give you another way besides talking to express yourself and bring things from the subconscious into the conscious so that they can be processed and healed. Do the workbooks. That's what he put in bold. I'm a few months into my breakup, and my ex is still being cold to me, but these workbooks have been tremendously helpful in managing my anxiety, helping me understand myself, my ex, myself, and take accountability for my part in the breakup. And that is huge. Taking accountability is so huge. I know a lot of you are probably doom scrolling the comment section for success stories, looking for any signs that your situation can turn around, but take it from me. No contact is just the beginning. This breakup was rock bottom for me, and the reality of it is that I needed to change, and probably so do you. There's no point in getting back with your ex if you're just going to repeat the same negative cycle, leading to another breakup and feeling worse. Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
I like this. It's very person-centered. The answers are all inside of you.
I knew there was a reason I wanted to show Victoria that scene before we filmed today, and I couldn't remember which email coaching it was. But now you don't know the reference.
Oh.
It's a very famous Star Wars line. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. So they're a Star Wars fan.
I see.
I'm as heartbroken as the next guy to lose my girl. In my case, I wanted to marry her. Yes, avoidance can want that. LOL. But if I had to be honest with myself, after having gone through these workbooks, how long will that marriage have lasted had I not hit rock bottom, done all this work, and stayed the same?
That's a great question. That's really valuable insight. That's a very challenging thing to ask yourself, right? Because a lot of times, we'd like to think that we can do it, and we can be super hopeful about our capabilities and maybe overestimate our relationship skills right after the breakup because we want it back so bad. We just think
true.
like the intensity of the grief that we're feeling will motivate us to be such a great partner for the rest of our lives. But unfortunately, that's not true.
It's not true.
It does take consistency.
Absolutely. This is serious business, folks, especially for those of you where marriage was on the table. Learning how to heal your attachment traumas, self-soothe, listen, and be empathetic, and be your partner's secure base is a no-brainer before you say those words, for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, and sickness and in health, till death do us part. Do the work.
Wow.
So, if you really think about everything he said here, because I'm pretty sure I know who this is, this is coming from somebody who's putting in a lot of work, and you can see how they're describing things in such detail that we're able to go through this thoroughly and explain how and why he's correct.
Right. And for those of you that, might not be able to get the workbooks, we have so many videos on our channel that are accessible to you.
Yes.
Right? There is so much knowledge and information out there on how to improve your relationship skills. And one thing that I love is when many of you start listening to our videos, you start taking down book suggestions that we mention sometimes, authors that we mention sometimes in our videos, and do your own research, and do things to improve yourself. We love to hear that.
We have so many videos that we know just aren't going to get a lot of views. But for the people that are watching those videos, they're growing in leaps and bounds over the people that just watch no contact videos. What does no contact prepare you for? Maybe what you're dealing with right now, and maybe the initial stages of when they come back. But you really, if you love somebody and you really want to have a great relationship with them and have a strong attraction and keep that connection, you got to understand it better.
Right.
And that's what we've been about here for a long time. Not just trying to get your ex back, but doing it through personal growth, learning how to be a good partner, how to be more confident, how to heal your traumas, all those areas.
Right. And I know it can also seem very intimidating and complex sometimes. We do talk about some complex topics, but we also try our best to break it down in ways that are manageable, digestible, easy to understand. So I know that there's been criticism about the whole therapy field recently about, do we need to know all these big words and boundaries and this and that and the other? We understand it can be very intimidating. It can be a lot. It can be very complicated. But it doesn't have to be. You know, if you're able to just reflect on one prompt a day, you know, that in itself can bring a lot of insight. It can help you to self-reflect about your relationships. It can help you show up differently. And that's really the goal.
Yeah, one thing that I'm very proud of on this channel is that we have broken down breakups in integrating mental health and attachment styles. And when we launched the channel, nobody was talking about this stuff. There was nobody talking about attachment theory and breakups. Me and Margaret were able to put that together behind the scenes, and Victoria somewhat too, because her and I used to talk about breakups all the time, even just as friends. And then, you know, when we decided she was going to come on board, she was in Norway
at the time.
Norway for a while getting her master's. But even Victoria was there behind the scenes from the get-go. Even the first day I was there filming, she was there with me.
Yeah.
And you can see a picture of it for yourself on our Instagram.
Yeah, true.
I posted a picture of it. We filmed a couple together. You were a guest that day.
I remember.
Yeah. So even Victoria was kind of on board in a different way, even before Margaret was.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've been thinking about this, talking about this for quite a while. And like I had said, we talk about our inspirations here on the channel too. We talk about Bowlby. We talk about, you know, different therapists in the field that, you know, we really respect and value. So we love putting this information out there. We hope that each of you are able to, you know, take what you can and learn from it and grow and improve relationships. There's no reason to gatekeep any of this.
Yeah. And you really do want to think, if you don't make these changes, if you're only focused on no contact, how long is your relationship going to last if your ex comes back? Okay, and only you really know the answer to that. Or maybe you don't even know the answer to that. But it's definitely something you want to think about.
Right. What we do know is that if you're able to work through these things, then you can show up in a way that would make that relationship more sustainable. Sometimes we aren't all responsible just for the ending of a relationship. Breakups happen for all many different types of reasons, but we can have control over how we show up and create the best kind of environment that we possibly can. So that's what we hope.
All right, so we covered a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully this has been helpful to you. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.